What do you get when you combine a passionate and veteran sports writer with a wife who is a casual observer? The answer? Married to the Game. This landmark sports talk radio show discusses sports from a married couple's perspective. Married to the Game with Rory and Lakita begins right now.
Hey, what's happening?
My name is Rory Sherrock.
And I'm Lakita Sherrock.
And this is Married to the Game. Man, thank you so much for checking us out today. We're blasting through your digital speakers from the beautiful city of Atlanta, Georgia, hitting you in the head with that flavor beyond flavor.
I'm super excited. This is our 8th episode. We've been rocking it out this year. Thank you all so much for hanging in with us. And for those of you all who don't know, I'm the novice in the camp.
Yep.
And Roy is the expert.
You know it. You know, February is an interesting month, a historic month. It's also sweeps month. And your friends at Nielsen, man, they're busy analyzing TV viewership. You know, quiet as kept. We're the hottest podcast on the planet.
And we can loudly say nobody can disagree with that.
So we'll let Nielsen do what they do. In the meantime, we're vibing about top-rated sporting events like the Daytona 500 and the World Skiing Championship.
Of course, we go in on the blockbuster trade of Boogie Cousins from Sacramento to New Orleans. We'll also walk along the red carpet with Hollywood A-listers and hand out the Oscars for the best in sports.
You know I got my fly tux on.
And you do look dapper, hon.
And your gown is stunning.
Why, thank you.
So buckle up your seatbelt as we cruise through February sweeps on yours and ours top-rated podcast.
Married to the Game.
You being an early to bed, early to rise person.
Yeah.
You knocked out last Sunday night thinking the game was the highlight of All-Star Weekend.
I did.
Wrong.
Really?
Sacramento Kings All-Star center DeMarcus Boogie Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
He was in New Orleans playing for the West in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Was traded after the game to New Orleans.
Wow.
The Kings get Buddy Hield, Tyreek Evans, Langston Galloway, a first and a second round pick in this summer's draft. Wow. New Orleans gets the throw-in was Amari Caspi. Big news down in New Orleans over the weekend that trumps the All-Star game.
That is huge news. So basically, he just got to stay put in the Big Easy.
Might as well. Remember when I showed you on Twitter the picture of his private jet just sitting there on the runway at the airport?
Yeah, I like that pic. And it kind of gives you the feeling of uneasiness, and no pun intended, compared to the Big Easy. But it's, it's like, where do I go? What do I do? But they did a lot for him.
I mean, it's like, if he has a home, I'm sure he has a house there in Sacramento.
I'm sure he does.
It's up on the market now.
It's on the market.
And just look for a good rental property in New Orleans till he gets settled or whatever. But this is huge because DeMarcus Cousins averages 28 points a game.
Right.
And he's now being teamed up with Anthony Davis, another star. Mm-hmm. They both went to Kentucky.
Right.
So they're going to have a massive front court out there in New Orleans.
But how they handled it, though?
All right. You're big on management and organization and stability.
I am.
The Sacramento Kings are the poster child of instability.
Right. 6
coaches in 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Bad management, bad organization.
And this shows it. Just the way they went down with this. It's just...
They told him last week that he wasn't going to be traded because his name has always been rumored to be traded. Here's the thing. Boogie Cousins, super talented. Mm-hmm. Maybe the best center in the NBA.
Right.
But he's a hothead.
Yeah.
You know what a technical foul is?
Yeah, I do.
Excessive arguing and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So since he's been in the league, and this is about his 7th or 8th year, he leads the league in technical fouls
and
ejections.
Wow.
So he's gonna be argumentative.
Is that a title you really want to have, though?
But he's so good.
Yeah. So do you give him a pass? Because
you could say in one breath he's passionate,
right?
But you got to kind of temper that a little bit.
I remember talking about New Orleans needing to step up their game from management to players in December. I think I talked about
You did.
December or early January. But I like how, now, hold on, let me pat myself on the back. I like how they took my advice. I was talking to them.
I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you those props because we were talking about Alvin Gentry being on the hot seat.
Yeah.
And we talked about how owners own, coaches coach, and players
That's
play.
right.
And everyone needs to step their game up.
So at the end of the day, I'm a novice, but I know business. So and to all the NBA organizations out there, when you need a good business plan, let me know.
So they took your advice because they said, look, Anthony Davis is too good of a player to not have an equal level.
And he is.
On his side.
He is a awesome player.
He was the MVP of the All-Star game.
Yeah, and he needs that as supporting cast. I would think of it like a supporting cast. He needs that. And in order to keep him happy, you got to go get that supporting cast. And they pulled out all the stops.
They gave up the farm.
They gave up everything.
But when you got a caliber player like DeMarcus Cousins,
right.
This is like a generational player at that position.
Right.
You got to give it up. And they should make the playoffs. And I hope that he stays there. It's still uncertain whether what happens down in the future. He's from Mobile, Alabama. It's not that far from New Orleans.
It's not at all.
So he's close to home.
He's close to home. He's back in, the country town.
In the South.
In the South.
So this is massive news that what All-Star Weekend was, we thought it was just going to be the celebration of the midway point of the season, all the celebrity stuff. This trumped everything.
And it kind of, in a sense, made it better because at first the All-Star Weekend, all the little stuff and the dunk contest and all that, it sucked.
Yeah, the dunk contest was horrible.
Sucked. So this is kind of like, all right, it's getting everybody back on the edge of their seat.
Now, here's the other interesting thing is with the All-Star game, we thought it was all the drama of Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook being back on the same team, so to speak.
This is the drama.
This took care of everything.
Yes.
So Anthony Davis was the unofficial host of the All-Star Weekend because it was in New Orleans. He's the star player in New Orleans. Anthony Davis is like, man, this is the best.
Yeah, he got the best present ever.
Ever.
Yeah.
This is ever since he won the national championship in Kentucky.
Right.
But this is the best moment he's had as a pro. All-Star Weekend and getting DeMarcus Cousins on the same team, like the same night.
Yeah.
All right, so blockbuster trade right before the deadline. DeMarcus Cousins packs his bags, headed for, well, not packs his bag.
He just
whatever luggage he had there, you know what? Just have it shipped to you.
Yeah.
Your new residence is in the 504. Welcome to New Orleans.
Here they come to the line. This is the finish of the Daytona 500. Side by side, bouncing off each other.
Unbelievable. I think it was Denny Hamlin.
I have it as Hamlin.
By an inch. What
Denny
a finish.
Hamlin. Oh, my goodness.
I've got chills at my spine. That was amazing.
Less than a mile to go.
Oh, we got a wreck.
Third generation star Dale Earnhardt Jr. brings him to the flag. Checkered flag waving. It's over. It's Earnhardt. Keselowski in the 2. Biffle backing up. Patrick behind him. For the second time, the Daytona 500 goes to Jimmy Johnson, 5-time champion of California, and his Rick Hendricks Chevrolet. Matt Kenseth trying to win it for the second time. Here comes Junior to the outside. Side by side with Kenseth. He runs out of time. Matt Kenseth wins the Daytona 500.
All right, it's race week down at the Daytona 500. This is the 59th running of the Great American Race, Sunday, February 26th at historic Daytona International Speedway.
Wow.
All right, this is 500 miles of intense driving.
That's a lot of doggone driving. Now, is that why they have the numbers after the race?
Yeah, it kind of helps it out, makes it simple for people to understand.
Okay.
And there is so much history at this legendary venue.
Yeah, it is.
Dale Earnhardt, he died in a crash here in 2001.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
But his death changed safety standards for NASCAR across the board.
It did.
And loving tribute, his son, Junior, won it in 2004.
Uh-huh.
And then he won it again in 2014.
Yeah, I remember that. That was awesome.
And there's so many star-studded drivers here at the Daytona 500. Of course, defending champ Denny Hamlin, 7-time Cup Series champion Jimmy Johnson, who's the best driver in the world, Dale Jr., Kurt Busch, Matt Kenseth, and now Joey Logano, who he got his start at Atlanta Motor Speedway back in the day.
Did he?
Yeah.
Wow, how cool is that? And some of the things, awesome things that's going to be going on at the Daytona 500 during race week, there are going to be a lot of performances.
Yeah. Didn't you say Lady Antebellum?
Yeah, Lady Antebellum.
Because you would put me on the game with them because I don't even know who they are.
Yeah, they're going to be performing, and they're actually going to be, they have 2 hits that I've really fell in love with. Hopefully they'll perform those. One of them was Need You Now and Just a Kiss. I loved those songs.
That's your country music days, right?
Yeah, my country music days. And they're still part of my days.
Okay.
I still like them, but that's going to be the pre-race show. And I thought it was cool that Owen Wilson is going to be the Grand Marshal.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. And the ironic part about that is he was the voice of Lightning McQueen in Cars.
I'll be transparent. Didn't see Cars. I know you know about it.
Of course I do. You should see it.
I got to step my game up.
Yeah, it's a very funny movie.
So then this fits for him to be the Grand Marshal at the Great American Race, and he's a voice in Cars.
It fits perfectly.
That works.
And maybe one year they'll come and ask me because, I always wanted to be a NASCAR driver.
You really think you can do 500 miles around Daytona International Speedway?
Man, I can rock it out. I would leave everybody in the dust. I would win it. I would then do a flip off my hood of my car.
That's like Carl Edwards does the flip. But he's retired now.
I know, but see, I'll bring it back.
And then, so then it'd be you and Danica Patrick being the lone women at the Daytona 500
and
behind the wheel.
She could catch up. And, I could teach her a little thing or two.
I like that.
Because I've been practicing already on the interstate. I just haven't got caught yet.
I like that. And yes, you do have a lead foot like these guys here at the Daytona 500.
Right. But I want to make sure everyone knows because, since I wanted to be a NASCAR driver back in the day, and I still practice, there are a few things you got to keep in mind when you're going to the race.
True.
You got to bring your headphones.
Yeah, it's loud.
It's loud.
Okay.
So you want to be able to hear, but you not bust your eardrums. You got to make sure you have some binoculars.
Okay.
And the reason for that is so you can focus on certain drivers that you want to see. And make sure you wear comfortable shoes.
Yeah, because it's a lot of walking around.
It's a lot of walking around.
There's so much to see and do.
A lot to see, a lot to do.
Okay.
And they're going to have a lot of places where you can go to take pictures, brings me to the last important thing. Bring a Sharpie. Because you got to get the autographs.
Yes.
And then I know next, give me a couple of years, I'll be one of the drivers and I'll be willing to sign some autographs. So make sure you bring your Sharpie.
Daytona 500 is like the Super Bowl of NASCAR.
It is.
I could see why there's so many events that are going on that you gotta, it's good for the family.
It is.
I bet it's a pretty penny to get tickets. But that's a lot of fun stuff that people can do there.
It is. It's a lot of fun stuff. And the cool thing about it, too, is people are actually they camp out way before it.
Oh, yeah.
Which is ultra cool.
They started the week before with the trailers and the RVs that were there. They started a week
before. And then, you know what? Kid Rock.
Okay.
He's going to be performing.
Okay.
And
he's a perfect fit for that crowd too.
Yeah, he's oh my God.
He brings a lot of energy.
He does. I've always been a Kid Rock fan. Florida Georgia Line is going to be performing too.
They're huge.
Yeah. And which is so cool too. You get a chance. That's why you got to make sure you have your comfortable shoes because you get a chance to walk the track and take selfies and see, I know the survivor skill.
Okay, but you know what? You may need some type of, don't they have those mobile chargers? Because if you're taking a lot of selfies and pictures, you don't want your battery to die down on your cell phone.
That's a good idea. Let me write that down.
So we'll add that to the little survival kit.
Yeah.
For the Daytona 500.
Because they got to make sure that their, phones are charged up, especially for a couple of years. Because especially those who want to take pictures with me, because I'm going to be there.
I get it.
Okay, I just want to make sure you know.
I get it.
All
So we're talking down the line, you driving
I will
at Daytona
be there.
at the Daytona 500.
Yeah.